Have you ever seen a photo that made you stop and stare? Not because it was shocking, but because it told a story without using a single word? That is exactly how many people feel when they see photos of Suzanne Pleshette. Some say her photos leave little to the imagination, but there is much more to her than just pictures. Let us find out why Suzanne Pleshette became one of the most talked about women of her time and what her photos really reveal about her. Suzanne Pleshette was not just a pretty face. She was an actress who had a big voice, strong opinions, and a style that made people remember her. She was born in the year 1937 in New York City. Her parents worked in the theater business, so you could say acting was in her blood. She studied at a famous school for acting and worked hard to become a star. Suzanne did not get her fame overnight. She started small in plays and small movie roles. But people noticed something different about her. She had confidence. She did not try to look like everyone else. She looked like herself. That made her stand out. Back in the 1960s and 1970s, Suzanne Pleshette appeared in a lot of magazines. People could not stop talking about her photos. Some of them were very bold for the time. She wore dresses that hugged her body or showed just enough to spark interest, but never too much. She knew how to pose. One look, one smile, one raised eyebrow, and people would talk for days. But here is the thing, she was not just trying to look attractive. She was using photos to show power, style, and personality. Her photos left little to the imagination not because she showed everything, but because she made people wonder. Let us talk about some of Suzanne's most famous photos. One photo showed her wearing a low-cut black dress while standing against a white wall. The contrast made her pop, and her expression was strong and calm. She was not smiling, but she was not frowning either. It made people stop and think, what is she thinking? Another photo had her in a silk robe just slightly open, with her hair messy like she had just woken up. It looked simple, but it was carefully planned. People thought it was real. That is what made it so powerful. She also took pictures in formal gowns, fur coats, and even beachwear. In every photo, she looked like she was in control. She never looked uncomfortable or forced. She knew what she was doing. Back then, not everyone liked these kinds of photos. Some people said she was too much. Others said she was just right. But the one thing everyone agreed on was that she got people talking. Some fans said, she is the perfect mix of beauty and brains. Others were shocked by how bold she was, but even those people kept looking. Even today, if you show one of her photos to someone, they will probably say, "Wow, who is that?" That is the power she had. It is easy to talk about Suzanne's pictures, but let us not forget what made her great, her acting. She was amazing in movies like The Birds and on The Bob Newhart Show. She could make you laugh, cry, or sit at the edge of your seat. Off-screen, she was smart, honest, and not afraid to speak her mind. She once said, "If I get married, I want to be very married." That line became famous, and it shows how clear she was about what she wanted in life. So when you look at her photos, remember, they are just one part of her story. They may leave little to the imagination, but her real power was in her talent and her voice. Suzanne Pleshette knew how to make a photo speak. Her pictures were not just about fashion or beauty, they were about personality and strength. Yes, her photos turned heads. Yes, they made people talk. But more than that, they made people remember her. She showed that you can be bold and classy at the same time. That you can be beautiful and talented. That you can leave people guessing and still stay true to yourself. If you have never seen her photos before, now is the time to take a look. But do not just look at what she is wearing. Look at her eyes, her smile, her posture. That is where the real story is. Thanks for watching. If you found Suzanne Plechette's story interesting, give this video a like and tell us in the comments, which of her looks or photos do you think says the most about her? And remember, behind every famous photo is a real person with dreams, thoughts, and a story worth knowing. Do not forget to subscribe for more stories like this. See you in the next one.